Hey guys, I wanted to make a small clip to discuss cleansers that many of you need in your marriages and in your relationships and even sometimes in your friendships sometimes. A lot of times I think you guys forget that as a pair, a couple, or friends, especially when dealing with witchcraft and magic and anything of that kind of sort, you need to always cleanse the person off. You need to keep yourself cleansed off. For this particular situation, this is my marriage cleanser. And as you can see, the man is more emotional and he's taken very, very strong to the cleanser. A lot of his emotions are raw. Both of them, I made both candles today, and both wicks were the same, but his wick is thickening up. A lot of that is from the guilt that he feels. He's the one that is very emotional. You see the tears falling upon him. He is the one that's feeling the hurt. Her, not so much. She's holding up. Her wick has bended a bit. And that tells me that the cleansing is helping her a lot. Not only did I do the marriage cleanser, I did set a light also, and I did skulls. And for this particular situation with her skull, she wasn't doing as well. But once I started doing the marriage cleanser for both of them with the image candles, things started changing for her a bit. Because he seemed like he wasn't mentally affected as much. But once I started working on his whole body, he started to break down. His flame is very high, very high. She's good at holding in her emotions. So she's holding up very well. But sometimes I could tell that she goes back to being a little emotional. And sometimes that bothers her. Him, he's taking it all in. That wick is very, very, very thick. They're burning down both together. And as you can see, even though his wick is higher than hers, and the flame is much higher and is creating the blockages around the wick, it's not fully making the ball. You see there? So that tells me that everything that's going on in the relationship, he's feeling it in more. He's feeling that guiltiness. He's feeling more of the hurt. It's breaking him down. She's doing good. She's not doing too bad. That wick is thin, and I use the same wicks to make both candles. But they're both burning at the same level. I lit them both at the same time. I prayed over them both at the same time and together. And they're both dressed together as well with the same herbs and oils. And he's taken on a lot. And when you work it on somebody to cleanse them and to remove a lot of the energy that they took on, and even witchcrafts and even things that you have done to them too, because I think sometimes you guys forget that when you start working on your partner, you need to cleanse away certain things if you want to start to renew them. So if for a particular situation you binded your partner a couple of years ago, and or you did a heavy spell on them and it's affecting any kind of love work that you're doing now, is like the love work is not going through, you've been setting lights, you've been making reconciliation candles, you need to cleanse that person. Cleanse both of you. Cleanse both of you. I make mini skulls too. You could use those to help to release certain situations in his head. One particular situation. My mini skulls are great for one particular situation, and the larger ones are great for a whole situation. So if you have an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, you really want to reconciliate, work the mini cleansers on their mind, cleanse their minds, set a light, and work a relationship cleanser spell to remove a lot of the hold and the blockages that they still hold in. Yeah, they may need a healing, but the cleansing is always good to do. A cleansing is always great. You see, still the same. They're still burning at the same level. But that flame is really high. It's really affecting him. He's emotionally bent up and he's out of shape. I'm not going to trim the wick down due to the fact that the wick being so high is not affecting the candle at all and is burned. Because, particularly when you have a flame this high, the candle goes crazy. It starts melting down a lot. But this particular situation, the wick and the flame being that high is all of his raw emotions. He's feeling a lot of this. The cleansing is removing a lot that has been built up in him in general, and his whole body. Like he can't fight this. He cannot fight this. Emotionally, when I did the mini cleansing skull on him, he burned down really, really well. There were emotions there towards the end, but in the beginning, he wasn't showing it. So when you start cleansing your partner, look forward to that. Look forward to the truth coming out. Nothing evil, nothing wicked, nothing negative should come out of them. If in that particular situation you start working on somebody, you start cleansing somebody, you start seeing them, being really verbally abusive to you and whatnot, somebody else is working on them. Somebody else has worked on them. Somebody else has began to influence this person. So now they're fighting the cleansing. And instead of them fighting and releasing the truth, they will fight with you and they will tell you hurtful things. A lot of times that happens. So you will see where you start cleansing your husband or your wife. You feel like, I'm cleansing her. Why is she behaving like that? The releasing of all of the emotions inside of her is too much. It's too much. So they don't know how to handle themselves. So they rather hurt you than to tell the truth. Because if they tell the truth, they're going to hurt themselves. So it's always good, always good. Cleanse yourself, cleanse your partner, cleanse the relationship, cleanse the marriage, and help, clear away those blockages that are still built up around the relationship that are stopping you both from coming together as one. A lot of times I tell you to reconcile. A lot of times I tell you to heal. But majority of the times, especially if you get a reading from me, I tell you to cleanse. And you don't need, that person doesn't need a bath to cleanse. You can make a candle. You could cleanse with a doll. You could cleanse with a photo. You could cleanse with a personal item. So there's many different ways that you can cleanse your lover and cleanse yourself and cleanse the relationship in whole so that you guys can both be on the same page. So if your partner's been worked on a lot, and you've been going to multiple and different people, start cleansing them. Find someone to cleanse them. You don't need multiple spiritual workers. And if you cannot do it, you need to find someone that you can trust that, is good at cleansing and removing certain situations so that you can start reconciliation after. And then you can add in some healing work as well, which is always good. I mentioned my love in me a few times. And anytime you work with a love in me, it's to help restore the love that's been pushed away out of your life. The love that hasn't been there, the love that you have not welcomed in, the love that you do not want in your life. You work on a love in me to help restore, and it helps restore, it helps heal you, it helps renew, and it helps you to show you that there's love everywhere among you, because a lot of times when you're so used to having negative love around you, you forget that there are good people out there that can show you what real love is. A lot of times, a lot of people, I don't think you guys understand that some people don't know how to love. Their concept and their way and meaning on love is totally different than you. So a lot of times you'll find in that relationship you're loving him or her, and then you're trying to love everything else in the relationship that this person lacks. You can't do that. You got to be able to love you and find somebody that knows how to love themselves. And somebody that truly and honestly knows how to love themselves will be able to love you passionately and correctly. A lot of you are in relationships that are toxic and you're holding on to it because you think it's love. And in reality, it's not. I mean, toxic relationships don't go anywhere. They don't. And I've been getting a lot of emails, from people asking me about, their twin flame and whatnot. A lot of times when you're dealing with a situation with a twin flame, to tell you the truth, honestly, that person is exactly like you. They behave the same way like you. And they have nothing to offer you. Just in my opinion, they have nothing to offer you because it's not that in a way you're dealing with someone when it comes to love exactly like yourself, but you fall in love with the fact that this person is just like you. You love that this person, they love the same thing you like. They love the same movies. You love the same food. You guys are so connected. But in reality, when it comes to a relationship and you both loving each other, you lack certain things. You cannot fall in love with somebody exactly like you. You can't. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because a lot of times there's certain things that you want from this person. Now, yeah, they love what you like and they may know a bit more about you because y'all share the same things, but this person doesn't know shit about love. They're just happy and in love with the fact that, oh my God, I met somebody just like me. But you're dealing most of the time with the toxic ass relationship. And toxic relationships go nowhere at all. It may feel good, and sometimes, a lot of times, I see people getting in relationships, rebound relationships. I've never really seen a rebound relationship last, and even with people around me, and just in general, I've never seen someone leave someone else and or break up temporarily, because a lot of you break up temporarily, and then fall in love with somebody that you cannot love. You cannot love somebody else if you haven't gotten over the love and the person that you've recently been with. You got to be over that. And let me tell you something, when you really, truly, honestly love someone, it's going to be hard for you to just give up and walk away from that emotionless, and just be like, okay, I'm done. You've been in that relationship with that person 5 6 years, and you just get up and walk away and think like, okay, there's no connection, there's no ties. That person truly and honestly would have had not ever loved you for them to walk away and just clear out of that relationship just like that. That's going to be hard to do. So a lot of you are in these rebound relationships. A lot of you emailing me about, oh, I want to be with my twin flame. That has nothing to do with anything. I mean, you hear people saying, oh, it's a twin flame. Honestly, half of you don't even know if that person's your twin flame. And I think sometimes you use that as an excuse to stay with these toxic ass people that you are truly with. I turned them both at an angle because I wanted them both. Now, I didn't want them to face each other. I wanted them to both angle each other. I wanted them to both be side by side. And I wanted him to look at her at one angle, and I wanted her to look at him from one angle. Many of you messaging me, asking me about narcissistic people. Like, people are people in general, okay? If you decide to work on a narcissistic person, that's on you. You already know they don't have nothing to offer you except themselves. They care about themselves. They love themselves. They're in a world where they only exist. And a lot of that stems from mental abuse and child abuse and whatnot. But I don't want to make this a whole video about narcissists and all types of shit like that. But many of you find reasons as, oh, it's hard to work on that kind of person. Oh, shit. Listen, get a reading on the person in general. Find out what's going on. But if you honestly know this person has nothing to offer you, why are you going to make an excuse and say, oh, it's because he's a narcissist? No. Figure out what you want in your life. Figure out what you really want in your relationship, and it'll help you when you work on someone and or to finding someone that is compatible with you and actually can meet your needs in a relationship. Because when you are in a relationship, a lot of times people don't understand that when relationships start to fail, either one person has checked out already and the other person is just too blind to really see that, and or there's interferences within that relationship that you bypass. You let it bypass for so long that now it's grown into a huge issue. So when you have two people that are in a relationship, they both have to know how to love each other. They both have to know how to love themselves first. So if I could love me and he could love himself, then we could do good learning how to love together because we both know what we want. A lot of times you guys are with people and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, how to work on him and whatnot. Find out if this man loves you. Find out if this man cares about you. Find out if that woman wants you in her life, and find out if she has anything to offer you. Because in the long run, if they don't, you need to move forward and clear yourself, cleanse yourself, and start some attraction work to love you. Okay? Be attracted to yourself. Be all up on you. Be sweet to yourself. Be sweet to what you want, your goals, and, creating the success and abundance that you want before you think about trying to find somebody. Attraction work offer you. Attract new friends. Attract a new job if you need to. Attract people that you can get to know before you jump into a relationship, because too many of you are jumping from left to right, and it's like you have no stability in your own life, yet you want to create a relationship with somebody. You don't have nothing to offer somebody right now in a relationship. You need to be able to offer yourself something. Offer yourself something where you can say, you know what, I like the person that I am. I like the type of person that I'm growing to be, and I'm understanding me. Get to know you. And then you can see if there's somebody else out there that is willing to, accept you. Because you do already. You love you already. And when you at that point where you love you already and you don't give a fuck about what nobody else to say, you're going to be picky and choosy with any man or woman that comes into your life. Friend or friend not. A lot of times I tell you guys when you start doing attraction work to attract some friends. That's best to do. And you want to grow with these people in your life. You want to build a friendship. You don't want to just jump into a relationship and then, okay, it's over and done. Well, you didn't get to know that person. So whose fault is that? Nobody's fault. nobody's fault at all. I think it's just always a good idea to just be clear in your mind on exactly what your goals are, period. And then if you want to incorporate magic, then do it. And do it correctly. I feel sometimes when you love somebody and things happen in the relationship, fight for your relationship. Freeze up the bitches, and freeze up everyone that's coming in the way. Keep them cold. Keep them cold emotionally, physically, and mentally from coming into your relationship. Once you have done that, if this person has gone forward and slept with your mate or your partner, I do recommend that you bottle that person up. Bottle them up, and you need to keep them away. So you can put them in a stay away jar, and you can work a stay away spell to not only keep them away down sexually, and once they're cold, you want to make sure that you write on your petition sexually also. You want to make sure sex is cold. You want to make sure anything involving emotions and sexuality is frozen so that that no longer can occur. Now, if you decide to go deeper, then you can work on them sexually, to stop them from pursuing your person, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your partner. You want to make sure that you create as many different areas of no entry for this person, as many different ways as possible. You don't want them to come in. Create that coldness. Stop them from sleeping around. Vanish them. I mean, there's many different things you can do. You work them in increments too and see which one is working better. Some of you that are more powerful, you want to work it all together. But I always tell you guys, when you want to find out what's going on, do divination on yourself. Do divination, and or you need, because a lot of times you think you know what's happening. You think you can see it all, and you think, oh, you know what? I know what's happening. And no, you don't. You don't know nothing. You honestly don't. And I think a lot of you are afraid to get readings. You're afraid to get readings, and you're afraid of actually what the person may see. And you don't need to worry about that when you get a reading. You get a reading, and you move forward with it, and you decide how you're going to change things. But cleansing the relationship before you do any work, and or to, because sometimes when people work on you or your partner, you can't do any work after that. You can't, anything that you're going to want. This person has done a lot of shit. Sometimes people do spells, and there's like a lot of textbook witches. They just, going on the internet. They really don't have no much power. They're reading a lot of books, and they're listening to what people are saying and telling them to do a lot of wrong bullshit too. And then they feel like they can do it. They feel like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And they send in a lot of dirty remnants and energy around you. So a lot of times when you do find yourself working on a spell, and or someone else working on a spell and sending it to you, your attitude starts to change. Your energy starts to change. That spell isn't particularly taking full effect, but the energy that they're sending and what they're praying about is starting to hinder over you. So that's why I tell you, cleanse yourself from any remnants of a spell. So a lot of spells don't go through. But that energy, sometimes it comes in. It cracks in, and it sits there. You want to remove that. You want to cleanse that off. And you want to just start over new. So that's why I say always start with a cleansing. When you want to do something new in the relationship, when you want to start some love coming in, and when you want to also heal and renew the relationship as one. Okay? So I know I said quick video, but it's about 20 minutes. But I hope it'll explain a lot to you that, really don't understand. Just understand, period. Okay? Like, subscribe, and stay blessed, guys.